Our News on Terror segment tonight. Israel launched a large-scale attack over the weekend after an Iranian drone infiltrated the country's airspace. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, Israel is seeking for peace, but we will continue to defend ourselves against any attack against us and against any attempt by Iran to establish military bases in Syria or anywhere else. The Israeli Defense Force reports that the captured Iranian drone is a replica of a U.S. spy aircraft captured by the Iranians years ago. This is the Iranian drone invading Israel. Watch.
צדק 3 רשאי להפיל את המטרה. מוודא תוצאה חיובית על המטרה.
With me now, retired Brigadier General and author of Direct Fire, General A.J. Tata. General, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Liz.
All right, General, this is some serious unrest happening in the Middle East right now between Israel and Iran. Perhaps, I guess, the most escalated form of unrest that we've seen in quite some time. In your professional opinion, is war between Israel and Iran brewing right now?
Yeah, I think that's on the horizon. I think that's why Iran and their special forces in Soleimani were so eager to get into Mosul and push all the way through Iraq. And the Shia regime there in Iraq is opening the door for Iranian influence all the way across the Arabian Peninsula, which is sort of unheard of. And so now strategically we're left in a position where you've got Iran with direct access now to Syria, who they've been supporting, and Hamas and Hezbollah, who they've been supporting, flush with cash from President Obama, 1.7 billion in cash, and then about 30 billion for the Iran nuclear deal. And so what you've got on we've got on our hands is this worst case situation where our primary ally in the Middle East has been aided and abetted by the President of the United States, former president, with 40 or $34 billion worth of money to be able to help buy this kind of technology that you showed at the beginning of the program, Liz. And now what we've got is this alliance really forming between Jordan, Israel, and Saudi Arabia that is trying to counter the Iranian influence in the Arabian Peninsula.
Right, and what we had happen here, as I said in the introduction, it was an Iranian drone that infiltrated Israeli airspace. The Israelis promptly shot it down, as we expected that they would here. The Israeli Defense Forces said that this drone is a copy of a captured U.S. spy drone that the Iranians got their hands on several years ago. Talk to me about that. That seems pretty serious if they're at the point that they're capable of replicating and stealing our military technology.
Well, you know, Persia, the Iranians have a great science program in their university system. They're very, very intellectual. For centuries, thousands of years, they've been at the forefront of science and mathematics and thought in general. And so it should be no surprise to us that they're very capable of taking a captured drone from the battlefield in Iraq and replicating that or even making it better in Iran, and then using it once they push across across Iraq and using it to probe into Israel. And so what they want to do is come at Israel from every possible direction and learn more about it, probe that really small country that is our only ally there. And Iran has the capability to do this, and they've been enhanced because of President Obama.
Right, and talk to me about that part too, because what it says to me is that they perhaps have this willingness now, which they've hesitated in the past to enter into a full-scale war with Israel. They've taunted Israel. They've attacked Israel in a small way. Israel's retaliated, but it's never escalated to the point of being a full-blown, all-out war. Does this indicate to you a willingness or a capacity from a nuclear standpoint that they're getting to the point where they're actually going to follow through on their threats to try to wipe Israel off the face of the earth?
Well, I think you got to put capability and intent together here. And when President Obama gave them, over $30 billion, they've now got the capability. They've got the money. They can buy the stuff that they need. Hamas and Hezbollah are sharpening their knives. They've got the they're poised on the Syrian border and on the Jordanian border with their special forces. They're leaning forward. If they're not going to do it now, over the next year, particularly coming into the spring fighting season, I think if I were Iran, now is the time. You've got the money and you've got the capability, and you certainly have the intent. That's never gone away. So with those three, and this was the strategic miscalculation, in my opinion, of the Bush administration. When you removed Hussein from Iraq, no matter how terrible a dictator he was, you removed a geopolitical check against the Persian empire that wants to push in across the Arabian Peninsula. Now what we have is an open door into Iran that allows, or into Iraq, that allows Iran to lean on Syria and on Jordan and ostensibly on Israel in this fashion. So there's no buffer now, but really between Jordan is the last remaining buffer, and they're a pretty small country with a great military and a great leader, but it's a pretty short MiG flight from the western part of Iraq into Israel.
Right, and it seems to me that Israel's recognizing what you just said, that Iran has that strategic geographical placement, I guess, because Netanyahu said that they are not going to tolerate the Iranians establishing air bases in Syria or anywhere else. And like you said, with their ability to use Iraq now, it seems that they might have the capacity to do that. General Tata, thanks for coming on the show, sir. I appreciate it.